shows kind of what paranoia can do. From the beginning of this film, we're already hooked, as the premise is kind of based off of a fear that I think any rational person would have after witnessing a murder and then being caught witnessing the murder by the murderer. So I think the rest of the film does a really good job of building off of that like really good premise, and building tension through that paranoia. And then I think that like one of an interesting point of the loose end as well is that the ending is just so ironic. And
this is a really great, misleading story with such a fun twist at the end. I think you build that tension. I think, how quick paced this is. You're leading us in a bunch of different directions. I think it's a really fun twist, and I think you present it in a way that isn't expected, and it makes it really interesting to watch. Like I said, the pacing throughout this is great. I think the dialogue acts as a great misdirect that leads the audience guessing throughout the piece of who is who, and we're on this journey to find the killer. What is going on? I think it leaves a really great air of mystery. To have that ending just be the cherry on top.
It feels like this short is a lucid dream. We're not quite sure this is like real in the reality or is in like his head in the imagination, and the blur of the reality and the imagination is a good theme of this short. Also, the performance of the protagonist and the guy who is accused as a murderer also intense, and he's so very stalky, he's so very suspicious, and I think it is something that helped me see like the character arc and make the characters more interesting to watch.
Having the opening sequence after he finds the killer in the hallway with the body, and having the no B dialogue with the police officer during the questioning, that was so perfect because it creates this tense and fear within the audience, because we get to feel just how this character is feeling in that moment and how he's struggling to experience what he just witnessed. I also love how you include the idea that he struggles to keep track with school and himself, because we get to see, as the audience, we get to see him take a makeup exam. That's it. That just shows like his lack of awareness in a sense, because he's struggling because of what happened. Maybe it's because of something that happened before that, but we're not really shown that in a sense, whether it is because of something that happened before the event of the film or it's because of what happened that he has to now struggle and suffer at school and losing himself in the end. The lack of dialogue throughout the film was brilliant, because we get to actually experience and feel the emotions that he experiences as the character. And the main lead did an incredible job. His acting skills were really evoking, and we got to see his emotions come across with no dialogue. And the fact that there is no dialogue, we as the audience get to see and feel everything that he is feeling and experiencing every time, over and over and over again. The film is very reminiscent to Disturbia. It's a 2007 film.
I thought that it had a captivating story and had an interesting twist at the end with the man that he assumes to be a killer not actually being the killer. Overall, just a really nice attention to detail throughout, and a nice choice of colors and color grading. I think all of that added to the gloominess and tension of the film. And also just really strong performances. The filmmakers did a really good job at telling a silent film almost, and still keeping it very interesting and captivating, and the actor did a great job.
So this kind of reminded me of, an old episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. It was a show that featured a lot of crimes with a twist ending, and this had a very clever approach like those shows did. So yeah, I like the fact that it's called The Loose End. And at first you think it's just going to be about a guy who witnessed a murder who's going to be scared of the guy stalking him the whole time. But then it really erupts into something bigger, as it seems to be that this chain of murder and loose ends is just going to keep growing and jumping from person to person. It's almost like a supernatural force jumping from person to person. So this was a really good idea.
Our protagonist accidentally stumbles upon a murder scene, and in their fear and anxiety of being killed off, they suspect that one of their own classmates is the murderer because they have the same red shoes as the killer they saw. And in an effort to get them before they get him, they stalk this man. He has put himself in the same position as the killer he saw. Someone witnessed him murdering this man. I love the irony of it all, where in an effort to prevent things, he became the very thing that he was trying to stop.
Quite well done, especially with the score and the different lighting, putting things in shadows. It really puts a spin on it where you don't really know what's going on. But the twist at the end was quite unexpected and very pleasant to see in terms of murder, I guess. But it was really well done.